Absolutely.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. I hope you have no issue connecting in connecting with teams. So first thing I say, big thanks. Wish you happy Women's Day. I think it's a special day for everyone, right? Like for mothers and children, daughters, and all. So I wish you happy Mother's, not Mother's Day, the Women's Day. And you can get started with your session, please.
Yeah, sure, Aro. And thank you so much. I see it has gained a lot of momentum at the Women's Day, and I really appreciate you all putting such an event. From a technology perspective and for women in tech, I have been part of tech for a long time, and I know what a struggle it is for women to get relevant information, right platforms. So great work. Thank you so much. This is really great. So let me just see if I am able to share my window. That will be super awesome. Just give me a moment.
Sure. Take your time.
Let me know once you are able to see. I cannot upload it. I can only share the screen, right? That is,
Yeah, you can just click on share. I think then we
yeah.
can able to view. Yes, something's working. Yeah, thank you. I think we can see the first screen. Yeah.
Okay, great, awesome. So before I start, I think I heard Shruti a bit, and I was really very excited to hear some of the things that she has been covering. It's amazing that people are talking about it, and some great stuff. And as you rightly said, it's for both the genders. So I'm sure those technicalities are going to help. Now, this session, I'm going to change gears a bit. And because my topic is empower women with Microsoft 365, something which I am also very passionate about, how do I empower women and with the help of technology. So I'm going to shift gears here a bit, and I want to bring to notice that many a times we just opt for technology for the sake of it. However, the biggest question I want all the women to ask themselves that what can I use that will help my life, that will make my life simpler? I think empowering through technology is very important and very easy at this point of time because the way world is changing. So in the context of technology, workplace and productivity, Microsoft 365 is playing a very vital role. And as we move to with the session today, I'm going to touch upon a couple of those things. And I'm going to also cover a bit of the ecosystem that Microsoft 365 has built. So that's how we'll progress. So a quick look on what we are going to do today in this session. Maybe we'll look at some of the barriers. I'm also going to talk a little bit more from a career growth perspective. While technicalities is very important, there are other aspects of it in which Microsoft 365 can definitely help them optimize the way they are approaching things, the way they are delivering. So I always believe in the fact that you should use technology to 10x anything that you are doing, and that's the best use of technology. So I'm going to focus on the barriers, the allies, and then how Microsoft 365 is chiming in the entire scheme of things. So let's start with the barriers. So for women in technology, there are some key barriers today, and not just technology. Technology is key piece. I will come to it, but there are some key barriers that women face today in the workforce. One and the most more major one that I have seen is the work-life balance. Having the right mentorship, they don't know the career path, they don't have the right mentorship, and they feel stuck. The visibility. While I know all these skills, what is my visibility? How do I get that opportunity that I have been eyeing for? How can I be the part of the test cases that is happening, the new app that is getting development, that is getting developed, the new project that is getting rolled out? How do I be there? That visibility is majorly missing. How do I collaborate and innovate? Because everything is spread across. Now, these are some of the key barriers which women today face as they go in their career, as they move ahead. Now, how do we do manage all of these? I know I'm very, from if I have to just talk about me as a tech resource, I might be the best of the tech resource. But if I don't have all of these, my technicalities sometimes may not help me. But the technology is there to support you. That is your greatest ally today. The biggest ally that we have. However, there is one thing which I definitely want to emphasize on, that while there are different types of technology which is there, it is very important to understand how do we make use of it. What is it that we want from this technology? Why we want this? And then comes the how part. So the awareness, let's start with the first point, which is the awareness. The awareness of the different technologies that we have today is very important. Knowing what tools exist to support your career and personal growth. Understanding how to use these tools in a strategic way so that you can save your time, boost your productivity. Understanding and recognizing the biases that is there in the tech. So lot of these things we need to know. So that awareness is very important. Then comes the adaptability. While there are so many different technologies which is there, we are using on a regular basis. Even a common man is using it today. But they don't know how to use it properly. They only see the output of it. But for somebody from a tech, for a woman in tech, it is very important that they also keep themselves evolving, staying open to new innovations like AI, what is happening in AI automation, cloud computing, any new digital thing. Being comfortable is in today's era, I would say, non-negotiable. So they have to keep experimenting, keep adapting, keep improving. And just a while back, while Shruti was conducting the session, she was giving the demo. She also covered that part. You have ChatGPT, you have Microsoft Copilot, all of it. They evolve. Any other LLM, if I take it, they all evolve. So we need to be very adaptable on how to make efficient use of it. Action. The juice, the power is in action. I know everything, but am I leveraging on that? I know there are tools and technology which is there for as a developer that can be used for debugging, but am I making use of it? Or I am just still sitting with a space where I'm doing it manually? So having awareness, being adapting that, and then taking action is the key. And if women make that as an ally today, there's nothing like it. Now, there are certain things, certain statistics which I'm going to share, and these statistics will just surprise you how people have been, the different organizations have been looking for how to optimize the way people are working, how to give more, create more opportunities for women in the space of technology. So these are some of the facts, and these are all from from the resources which are very respected. So McKinsey has done a survey, and there was a report that was published. If you just look at my screen, and you'll see, they say women who work remotely are 20% more likely to be promoted. Not just while I'll focus here on women, but for anyone, if they use the collaboration tool. Very important. AI can increase the productivity by 40%. And we all know that, we have used it. But mind it that sometimes we need to know any of these tools that we talk about, any of the structure that we are talking about, if we are not strategic in our approach, I often say analysis paralysis will happen. You will go into too deep without knowing what is it that you want, and instead of being more efficient, you may end up losing more time. However, that does not mean you do not experiment. Now, there has been lot of mentorship and upskilling programs which is happening for women in tech, and that has been supporting them. Digital collaboration have increased. So there are a lot of success points which is there currently for women, and lot of support system that has happened. Now coming to Microsoft 365, the key topic for us to discuss today. Now, Microsoft 365 is something Microsoft itself is leveraging its ecosystem, its tools to accelerate women's in technology. It is supporting in their entrepreneurship, their leadership journey. It is supporting them as an individual when they are working. So they have set up, and I will quickly touch a bit on the ecosystem piece, because there is a lot that Microsoft is doing, and it will be not fair if I don't touch upon that technology piece. Lot of things is already available online. People go look through it, but this is something that lot of times women are not aware of it. And there are some beautiful initiatives that are being run. So there is this initiative which Microsoft currently has, and I remember I have heard about it earlier in one of your sessions as well. Build for 2030 initiative. Now this program is very special in itself because it is supporting the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal, which is gender equality. Number 5, goal 5 it is. Now, what is the key role of this initiative? So this initiative promote women-led businesses within Microsoft partner ecosystem. So if you are somebody who is listening to this and you want to enter into an entrepreneurship journey, which is tech oriented, then you know where to go for it. So here in this program, women, they are provided resources, they have access to Microsoft commercial marketplace. They are also provided mentorship. And I have been in one of the sessions some time back, and I happened to meet a few people who have been benefited by that. So this is a very, very powerful initiative, and in all the geographies, Microsoft is pushing for it. There is something, and I will bring that to you. There are a lot of women startups which this initiative is also supporting. Then you have Women in Cloud Accelerator. I know many of you might be aware of it. I'm not sure how many of you have taken advantage of it, but do look out for that. Because Microsoft is helping women entrepreneurs to create opportunities, economic opportunities, and they are running, they have a target, I think, around $1 billion in economic opportunities. They are driving that. Next is your global skills and initiative. So Microsoft is also and is a platform where via this skill initiative program, they are providing a lot of digital trainings. And they have and if you look at it, these trainings and mentorship program, these trainings and these mentorship programs are more like the startup founders hub. I am one of those person who have attended one of those sessions, and you meet your role models, you meet your investors. They offer resources in terms of Azure credit to support their ventures, which is very, very powerful, which is very, very helpful for women who are just starting. So if you have not thought about it, if you have just seen Microsoft 365 as a tool to support, then I would really, really recommend you to go ahead and search for other things. The Cloud Accelerator program is still very popular, one of the popular programs. But for other three also, please go and look for it from whatever resources you can find. These are some of the very powerful programs. And city-wise also, if you're in India, state-wise, for major states, I know they are doing a lot of initiatives. There are hubs where people meet up, connect. Apart from the key programs, there are different Spock-based program that happens. Now, some of the popular one that I have heard recently and I came across is ekids.eu. That's a platform which Microsoft ecosystem is supporting. Same way, there are a couple of more platforms. There are certain programs and events that happen like Digi Girls. There is something recently had I have met somebody. She had attended this program, and she made great connections, which later on helped her move into a new role. The most important part and the most interesting part with Microsoft 365 is it is not just a tool. And that is why I wanted to spend this time establishing that you can learn the tools, you can learn everything, but you need an ecosystem to grow, support each other. And that is what is special about Microsoft 365. Let's look at a little bit on the tools. Some of the tools we are very much aware. And then I will go to my favorite tool, which is there. So if I look at it, if I look at from the tools perspective, most of the tools we already know. We already know what are the tools which is there, and some of it very extensively use. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. What I'm going to tell as a important statement or an important thing is, I work with a lot of people in tech. The biggest challenge that we face today is not about finding a solution, is not about creating opportunities. It's about knowing how to make use of it. Now, Microsoft 365, if you see, most of us, and now also we are on Teams. Teams is something, Teams and Outlook, we can't think of our life without that. So that is there. Productivity tools, again, we spend a lot of time on that. I'm not sure how many of you use to do, but an amazing tool. Please do that. If you are not using it, it is something which is my go-to space. I do that on a day-to-day basis. There is multimedia and family safety part that they have. That is also so they have in this, they have your Clipchamp, which is an online video editing tool. You have this Microsoft Family Safety, which is basically parental control service for managing screen time. So a lot of these things are there. But what I'm going to focus today for the rest of the session that we have, maybe we'll have another half an hour. Uh, I think half an hour to some few minutes more, but that is where I would want to focus on, is on the AI and automation piece. Some of these things which is there, the tools, the communication and collaboration tools which facilitates meeting and teamwork, we all know that. For business communication, we have Teams, and Skype was there, is still there, but I think they are phasing it out in another 2-3 months. uh, or a month. So, but this year in the first half only they are phasing it out. So there will be no more Skype. The hero of the, or one of the heroes in the tech world today is no one else but AI and automation. Now, just before we started with this session, I saw Shruti was giving a lot of details on how we can leverage on Microsoft Copilot. Lot of these things that you see that we are doing today, we have to start thinking how we can make it simpler using Copilot. So now the next half an hour, I'm going to talk a bit more on the Copilot piece. Um, and since you have already seen a lot of technicality piece, I will focus a little bit more on the concept piece and how you can, while we know we can leverage very nicely on it, how it can make a difference in your day-to-day work as a woman. How can it make it more seamless for you? And that is what my entire intent is. So let's go ahead, move into the Copilot. Now let's look at this Copilot. We all know it is just not a chatbot. It's more than that. It is more versatile. It has large, it has those, it can leverage on different LLMs, diverse knowledge source. Yes, some of it is still coming in, but a lot of it is there. Now, how can you use it? Now, let's take an example. I often work or meet women who are there in the space of testing, development. They are all engineers, software engineers working on developing on one or the other platform. With this Copilot, if a debugging or writing a new code would take you 5 hours, your Copilot can make it simpler and maybe just bring it to 30 minutes if you are clear on what you want. It has a it also provides a very seamless support, whether it is a troubleshooting, offering a guidance, anything. It is very, very seamless. And that is the beauty of this thing. What I personally felt while I was working and trying to test on the Copilot, that the language that is used is very, very simple. You don't have to break your brain for that. Whether you are new in this space, starting your career into technology, or you are somebody who has been there, the simple English makes the life easy. And they definitely handle multiple interactions, and that too simultaneously. That works like a magic. They can also converse in different languages. So any language barrier, your Copilot is very, very strong tool enough to handle it. Now, when we move into the Copilot Studio, it is just next level. Now, this platform, as I said, the language that they use is simple, very simple English. So if you are somebody who is not a coding expert as well, so you can code, but you don't need to code. Copilot is making sure that coding is no more I would say just a major skill done by a specific set of people. It is making it easy, so you don't need to be a coding expert as such as well. It is very, very intuitive. While they have just pushing it, they have just started pushing it now. Microsoft has started supporting in, so they are making champions in different organizations. If you are part of, so please go and check in if you're in your respective organization, if there is anything where you can register as a champion for Copilot. That will be a great space and a great exposure that you will have. These champions are being trained specifically on using Copilot in the most optimum way. So please go back and check. And if you can be a champion, please register for that and be a champion for it. Now, the tools that we build, customize, and update using Copilots, it is they also are. So basically, if I have to sum it up, the ease of use is a lot. And it also democratizes AI development. So people with good technical knowledge, not so good technical knowledge, all of them, they can have a powerful experience, a conversational experience with Copilot. Now, let's look at something that if you have to integrate multiple data source, like just now we were seeing, Copilot has the capability to do that. It can real time, it can do real time data retrieval. It can merge with different cloud platforms at a time, whether it is your Google Cloud, AWS, Azure, whatever it is. Some of it is still coming up, but with the most of it, it can still do it. SharePoint is again one of the very, very important thing, and we use on a regular basis in most of the organization, we use SharePoint. Now, how do you empower your Copilot? How do you do that? How do we make sure the Copilot gives you what you want? So they have something called as intelligent automation and action execution. And if you go to the Microsoft site, you will see, I will open it and show it also now. There are links where you can just go and it will give you how to train your Copilot, like the agents she was talking about. How do we create that? How do you build uh, and automate the workflows? So even Microsoft is providing a lot of support there. Now the learning also, the user experience and the learning is very, very adaptive. Analytics is very handy. I must say that. So one of the things that I recently noticed is the sentiment analysis. Because we can implement multi-modal interaction, text, voice, code, everything, the sentiment analysis becomes easy using these. So if you are somebody who is working into that space, who is working to make to do that sentiment analysis and having different source of data, please go ahead and explore Copilot. Yes, more things will be coming in, but nevertheless, this is something that you can use it for now. Now, any tool that we use, any LLM tool that we have, one thing is very, very important for that. And going back to the initial days, I was once told there is this term GIGO, GIGO. It's not GIGO, the game that we play. It's actually GIGO. Now, what is that? Garbage in, garbage out. Simple. So even for your Copilot to work in a good way, you need to make sure that you have clear paths defined. You have clear structure workflows. You have clarity on what the data sources will be, what APIs need to be connected, what databases need to be connected. If these two are not defined, That is where we face the challenge. That is where we go ahead and we see that whatever input is coming is not something that will help us. So very, very important. And this, how will you learn, is more of trial and error. We often depend a lot, while Microsoft does provide a lot of support. Microsoft does provide a lot of interactions. However, you will have to also go ahead and take some trainings. So they have these Microsoft Studio online workshop on how to create agents. They have a lot of such trainings. So you will need to go and have such trainings and then come back and experiment before you go ahead and experiment with anything else. So very important. Now, if I have to just in a simple word show you in a simple structure, if I just have to show you how will the how the Copilot framework has to be. Just give me a moment, something has happened. Okay. Can you all still see my screen? I am not able to see my screen somewhere.
Yeah, it is visible. No issues.
Okay. Okay, so are you able? Okay, wait, awesome. So there is one simple structure that I have put. While it is very simple, it stands the fact that I believe that technology should bring simplicity in what we do. If it is very complex, then it will not help us. And that's why I just thought I'll put a simple wireframe kind of thing for all of you to have a look at it and see. So, as going back to my conversation, the clear path has to be there. The data sources need to be very, very defined. Then we automate workflows and execute tasks. Now, Copilot is also, as I said, it is continuously enhancing. It is continuously learning things. So it will continue to grow. But this is the basic framework that we can use. We can depend on it, and we can work. What I'm going to do now, I'm also going to share some of the links where you can actually go and actually go and see some of these uh, some of these courses that are there that can help all of you to learn in more detail about the Copilot. So just give me a moment. So one of it is, just stop sharing this and I'll share that window. And a lot of it that you will see will come as a course, which will also help you. So all these certifications, while we are learning all of it, I can tell you all these certifications that is there, all these learning which is there, which you can do online, does help you a lot in your career. So for me, everything is from career perspective. If it is not paying you, we have to figure it out how we can make sure that it pays. So
Hi,
just
Swati. Sorry to interrupt. Your screen
yeah.
is not visible.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see how do I present. Let me just give me a minute. Okay, I'm sharing it once again. Okay. So this is again a course which is there, and all of it is there on Microsoft site, which you can go through. This is a very simple one. This is something which I generally recommend anyone who is there new into this space or who wants to explore a bit more. This is where it is a very short training which you can use it. You can start with, but they also have options for instructor led workshops. So do that. And for people who want to be there as a co-pilot who can, who can support Copilot in their respective companies, please do that and see if you can be the champions, because the champions also get lot of support. So this is very, very good training. And just go to the Microsoft website and you will see under learning, you will have. Now, a couple of more trainings are there. Let me just share that as well. And then I will do a small code that is there on the Copilot thing. So just let me share one more thing. How do we add knowledge on Copilot? Now, this is another thing that is there now. So what I want you all to actually look into it is some lot of these things are available on Microsoft website itself, while I'm just showing it to you all here to have an understanding that whatever we are talking is not just like that. Everything is there. So if you are somebody very new, you can actually start from scratch by going through a lot of these contents. And the good part is that their contents are always changing, they're always updating it. So it is definitely going to help you. So as we train our LLMs, as you work with your chat GPT, and we all know too much about chat GPT, that's why I'm just trying to draw a parallel here. In a similar way, you can also train your Copilot to give whatever important thing that is done. Now, these are all on the technical piece of it, code technicality. What is it that Copilot can help you on a day-to-day basis? What is it that it can do to make your life easy? I know most of us struggle with writing a very beautiful email when we are sending it to our leadership. Your Copilot is making your path easier there. And day in and day out, for anyone in a corporate who has been there for more than 7 8 years, we deal with, if nothing less than hundreds of email on a regular basis. Now that is how, for all the women here, you can look at that. That is how you can optimize your day-to-day work. You don't need to sit and think a lot about how the things are happening. What is it that I'm going to do? You have your buddy there, you have your ally there, which is Copilot. Now going back to my PPT, just give me a moment and I will bring that up. So what I want you all to define today, if you are watching this, and if you are thinking about the Copilot, because I see a couple of more speakers there on this. While the technology is there to support you, while the technology is so enabled, what is it that you want this technology to do? What this Copilot should do to make your life simpler? How can you use Microsoft 365 to give wings to your dream? And I'm so happy that an event like this is there so that you all have so much of exposure. Now, in the next few minutes, I'm quickly going to show, one simple code that has been there, not very complex. And as I said, simplicity is my best friend. So I always would like to stick to simple stuff. Even in coding, when my coding days, I have always looked for things that can make things simple logic. So here is one quick example how you can use Copilot. I'm not running it just because of the bandwidth issue. I'm not running it, the Copilot here. Otherwise, my system will crash. But you can just, and I have just taken a screenshot of some of it. So it is with the Copilot. Let's say for an example, you have been. I think the thing that I love is debugging, because a lot of us who are there working on it, it becomes very difficult to go line item wise. So now let's look at this scenario. Very simple. We are just looking at this scenario where we have to calculate the factorial of a number, but some reason the output is not correct. Now, this is just one part of it. Think about it. Imagine if it's a part of a big program, a big module, and you have to release that. You have a release coming in. It's a big, big thing to go line item wise and look at it. And it's frustrating too. And a manual effort is more prone to errors. Now, how can you leverage Copilot here to find error fast, to debug it? What can it, how can you do that? So Copilot is in that way very, very smart, very easy. It will only, it will go ahead, look at the code and it will suggest you what the error is. It not only suggests the error, it not only detects that, it will detect, it will give you a corrected step, a corrected code, or which is required. Plus, it also auto generate test cases. Now, this code has been fixed. Well and good, we are happy. But how do we check for it? And we know all of us that testing makes it perfect. We do test. Now, how do you do that? So it gives you those auto-generated test case. Now think about it. If you are doing the same activity on your own, taking one full day, Copilot is there and making it maybe an hour or two, depending on how much time, effort, and your exposure to Copilot. So this is the hero of our Microsoft 365 at this point of time. Microsoft is also supporting. And if you're a woman, you are in this space, and if you are exploring this, and if you are a champion, trust me, there's enough and more opportunities that you will have coming in. And you do have an opportunity to mentor other young women who are there in the workforce. So with that, I think Arrow, I had this major thing only, and with that, I am kind of towards the end of my piece. What I can do is that I can share a couple of links which are very important, while all of it is still sitting there in on the Microsoft website on their learning platform. But I can just showcase them couple of it so that if they need anything in the future, they can just go back and look at it and they might remember. So I'll take another 5 minutes. So let me so I already showed you a link where you can just go ahead and see how you can build and automate flows for the agent, how you can create agent is also showed in the last session. So I would not want to redo that. I'm going to show you something else. I also showed you how do you add knowledge, how do you train it further. There is one last one which I will show it to you before I wind it up. So just give me a minute on how do you uh, power automate flows. So there are workflows which are there and how do you power automate it. So for that also you have a session, you have a training that happens, which is again virtual of Microsoft. So let me just share that. The beauty of all of it is that if you just go back, browse Microsoft, all these trainings are there. And most of these trainings, from a training perspective, is for half an hour or so. And then if you start implementing it, maybe it will take you another, with all the errors and the exploration that we do, maybe it will take you a day more or 5-6 hours concentrated. Okay, and you can also look at these training events which is there. So extremely user friendly, whichever location you are, you can go ahead and see and you can attend, share, whatever it is. So for different geographies, they will have different time, different events, different days happening. So do look out for that. These live events, in-person events are much more helpful. You meet many other people, like-minded people. So this helps a lot. Okay, with that, I am at the end of what I had to discuss with on the Microsoft 365 and how can it help women. Um, And that is all arrow I had for today.
Thank you so much, Swati. This is Rajendra. Rohit just
Okay.
went break.
Okay.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much for the enlightening speech, and it was nice to learn on the Copilot. Thanks for sharing the links. Also, can you please put the links in the chat box so that it will be helpful to others?
Yes, I will do that. I will do that. And thank you so
Yes.
much for putting this something like this, together. Very nice.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thanks for the speech. Yeah.
Thank you. And I will put the links in the chat, and then only I will log